Vomit, throw up, barf, puking, getting sick, whatever you want to call it. It's something that all of us have experienced and very few of us enjoy watching, which makes it all the more strange that characters spewing their lunch on screen appears to be a common theme in the early Coen Brothers films. A total of 5 of the brothers' early films contain a scene of a character blowing chunks or almost doing it, which I'll get to here in a second. The strange pattern was enough for me to wonder, that's kind of weird. Are there any constant themes between the characters who throw up in these films? And after some research, I'm happy to say that I have found a strong connection between these vomit-flinging fiends. They are all people who are willing to do whatever it takes to get what they want, especially kill. In their first film, Blood Simple, the only character that we see vomit is Marty, who instigates all of the violence in the film. Blood Simple, and many Coen Brothers films like it, share a similar quality in that few or even none of the characters are exactly a good person. The majority of Coen Brothers films are filled with a cast of morally gray characters, or just more chaotic characters in general. While this film and many others are full of these gray characters, I feel like Marty is relatively distinct among them because he is the instigator of the violence within the film. In another one of the Coen's films, No Country for Old Men, we find another character, this guy, Moss, who finds himself spewing chunks. Now, while this guy isn't a bad person in general, and certainly not when compared to the film's antagonist, Sugar, he is constantly tempted by greed and is not afraid to kill in order to help secure the cash that he finds. Also, rest in peace, the dog. Barton Fink is a really interesting case for the Coens, because not only does it have 2 different vomit scenes, that's right, double the throw up, but it has the first case of someone who throws up and doesn't technically kill people. The first character we see, or I guess hear, throw up, is W. Mayhew. Mayhew doesn't kill anyone, but he is an all-around not great guy, and he abuses his wife, so I have no problem chalking him up with the other killers. Speaking of killers, the other vomiting character in this film is John Goodman, aka Charlie Meadows, aka Madman Munt. I don't think I have to go into too much detail on his character. He's a mass murderer who gives Barton a woman's head in a box. Oh, and he also just literally might be Satan, so yeah, I feel comfortable saying that he's not a great guy. Now here's the real meat and potatoes of my argument. So far, it's kind of just been a situation of, hey, this guy throws up. He's not a nice guy. But so what? Most everyone in these films are bad guys, and most of them have no problem with murder. And while it's true that most of the Coen's characters are willing and able to murder, there are some notable exceptions. The first is in their second film, Miller's Crossing. The film is centered around the mafia and has a main character by the name of Tom. Tom goes the majority of the film evading situations where he would have to kill someone. He doesn't have a problem with violence, but it is certainly a notable point that he actively avoids killing. Towards the middle of the film, Tom is taken out into the woods to prove that he has killed someone. Knowing that he didn't, he throws up from the nervousness. So this disproves my point, right? Wrong. That would be the case, except for the fact that in the end of the film, when he is given the opportunity to, he kills Bernie with no hesitation, showing that he is indeed a killer. Tom's story is starkly contrasted by the final film that I'll be talking about today, which is Fargo. Man, what an insanely great film. And what makes a good film great more than an incredible main character? Marge is just that. She's a nice, responsible, and wholesome cop just trying to do her job and come home to her hunk of a husband, Norm. Almost immediately after she's introduced, we get this scene.
You see something down there, Chief?
No, I just think I'm gonna barf.
Jeez. You okay, Margie?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just morning sickness. Well, that passed.
Yeah?
Yeah, now I'm hungry again.
This sets Marge apart from the other characters we've seen. She almost throws up, but she doesn't. And this control over her gut is reflected in the film, where she is put into a similar situation to that of Tom, where she holds the life of another in her hands. And where Tom fires to kill, Marge chooses to spare the life of another. This choice sets Marge apart. She will not vomit, and she will not kill. Now, do I think the Coens intended any of this while making these films? Absolutely not. This is just a bunch of random overanalysis that was done by this guy. But that's the beauty of art. We can watch a film and draw our own conclusions and meaning from it based on our own lives and experiences. And I found this to be interesting, and I hope you did too. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Also, True Grit is the worst Coen film. Don't at me.